On today's journey, we will be going to Ebenezer Park, which is a county park on Lake Wylie near Rock Hill, South Carolina. Hey, this is Jurgen with Jurgen's Journeys. So, we're on the road this morning. Made a quick pit stop here at Bojangles for a biscuit, but got Mr. Rottenbear with us. Yeah, he's happy to go. He's always glad to roll with us. So, headed for Charlotte. Going to see the Billy Graham Library if everything works out. We'll stop by and look at the Lake Norman State Park. Maybe stay at the campground if it's available and looks good. We don't know yet, but we'll let you know and talk to you after a while. Well, at this point, we didn't realize that we were going to Ebenezer Park. Our tentative plan was to go to the Lake Norman State Park, which was a beautiful drive. After we went up 40 west and then took 77 south, we got off and before you get to Charlotte and looked at this Lake Norman State Park. But that didn't quite work out as we thought it might. Well, we made it to the campground. I don't know what it's going to look like. We're going to stop here a minute and check out the board, and then we'll take a look at the campground. Well, we took a lunch break at the Lake Norman State Park Visitor Center after driving through the campground. Old Rottenbear need to get out and stretch his legs a little while. Campground was just for tents. I mean, there really wasn't much for RVs. So we didn't even attempt to stay there. We're going to go on towards Charlotte and see if we can find a spot. We stopped, had a little lunch. We had a little tomato sandwich, yummy, and it was really good. Beautiful sunny day. So we're just chilling here for a few minutes, and we'll see where we end up. So onward we go. Called several places, but they were pretty expensive. So we just kept going. We actually went past Charlotte on into South Carolina before we found our final destination. We found a nice little camp spot at the Ebenezer County Park at Rock Hill, South Carolina, or near Rock Hill. It's on a little lake. And it's a pretty nice little county park, not too expensive, full hookups. Mr. Rottenbear's laying outside and he's very contented. So I'm getting ready to eat. We had a pretty long drive. We took our time. We saw the state park at Lake Norman. That's between Statesville and Charlotte. We went on past Charlotte because we couldn't find anything reasonable till we found this place. So we're not too far, I don't think, from the Billy Graham Library, which we'll go to in the morning. So we're going to eat and then take a break, rest for a while, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Well, we're camped here at Lake Wylie. Beautiful little spot right here by the lake. We're camped up in the woods, but it's a beautiful day, kind of breezy. I don't know if you can hear me good. This is a pretty breezy afternoon, but just thought I'd share a quick view of the lake with you. We'll stay here till tomorrow, maybe the day after, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Now, this beautiful little county park is a pretty large and popular day use area for York County residents, and they love to come down there and fish, picnic, play ball. There's a wonderful playground children like to take advantage of. They have swimming in after a certain time. I think they opened the swimming area the week of Memorial Day. So there's a lot to do there. As you leave the parking lot at the day use area, you drive up and you see a beautiful field with large campsites on the left. A lot of large fifth wheels and Class A's. They prefer the more open area there. We chose a spot farther back in the woods, kind of away from most folks, mainly because of Rottenbear. Not that he's a problem with other people, but because he needs the shade. And so we found a nice shady spot back here in the woods, and it was a quiet place. We had almost no neighbors, one or two, and everyone was very nice, and the park was very well kept. The dirt roads were maintained fairly well. We had full hookups, and we really enjoyed this little spot. Wish we could have stayed longer, but it was a great place to jump off from to go to our main event, which is the Billy Graham Library. Now, we won't be going there today, but that's the purpose for this trip, and that's why we're staying here at Ebenezer, because it's not too far away from there. Now, as you can see, there's plenty of room for a 22-foot trailer and a van in this spot, and this is one of the shorter spots. The underbrush is not too bad, and Rottenbear really loved it here. It was cool and comfortable, and he made himself right at home right away. Just loves to come to places like this and see the other dogs and people walking by. He likes to sniff around and listen. And of course, being outdoors improves everyone's appetite. And his thirst for water is never diminished, but he certainly ate well while we were camped here. And it's always good to see him eating, because that means he's very comfortable.
Yeah, what's wrong with this picture? Oh man. Well, sometimes you run into problems when you're towing. I hit a place going over a railroad track, and that grabbed the leveling jack there and bent it. I didn't notice it at the time, but when I went to set up here, it was gone. So there's a place not far from here I passed coming into the campground that does RV repairs. I'm gonna see if they have a jack like that. I'm gonna try to unbolt it and replace it while I'm here. We'll see.
When I'm traveling, I always come prepared with tools. You've got to have enough tools to handle most minor repairs and things that come up. So this was not a difficult job, and it went quite well. Once we got the jack that we needed, it was really easy to take care of.
Well, now, doesn't that look better? Yeah, man. I found that that jack at this RV place, not far from the campground here, just a few miles maybe. And so I took the old one, the bent one, showed it to them. They matched it up, and $130 later, I got it back on. But we're in business. Well, there's not enough time in this little short video to show you the beautiful Billy Graham library, so I guess we'll save that for next week, along with our journey back home. But thank you for joining me, and join me again next week as we conclude this journey